Hey, this is Winston Zeddemore, CEO of Zeddemore Industries and member of the original Ghostbuster team. You're listening to Why We Bust, brought to you by the Windy City Ghostbusters and Memoriam Development. We're talking about members in the community and giving back. So suit up, shut your traps, dial in your PKE, and keep busting. Because it still feels good. And before you ask, no, I did not catch the number of that ghost train. Sorry, I missed it.
Hello, everyone. The Windy City Ghostbusters are excited to present the preeminent show focused on the charitable side of ghostbusting. We are meeting the incredible people from all over the world that dress like khaki covered exterminators, lugging around 30-pound light up backpacks, all in the name of putting smiles on faces and helping people. We're really looking to find out what makes them tick and hear their take on why we bust. I am your host, Patrick Calvert. And I am flying solo today. The central nervous system of the show, James Norman, he is taking a little bit of a vacation, well needed here this summer, but he may pop up in the chat if you want to harass him there. But we are broadcasting live over Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. And we will also be posting this on all the major podcast apps like Apple, Spotify, and Stitcher. So we are excited as ever for our guest today from the NYC Ghostbusters. We have Chris Sorrentino. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Pat. It's good. It's good. It's a good time here. Ernie opening the show. I mean,
isn't that exciting?
Come on.
I've seen it, 20 times now, and it still just makes me smile, and it's just funny.
How could it not? Come on, he's a legend. It's amazing.
And it's been nice that he's made the rounds with the over the past decade or so to kind of get the flowers from the community and let him know outside of the frustrations of Hollywood and the echo chamber there, that he is such a beloved member of the team.
He's the people's buster.
Yes,
he really is. He's a people's
absolutely. And I haven't had a chance to meet. Have you run into him at any of the shows before?
Yeah, you know what, I saw him like twice. I got his autograph on something, and I got a picture with him with my son when he was very little. And then I had seen him at the Ghostbusters movie premiere at the Firehouse, like the pre-party thing.
Sure.
And then another convention recently, I went with a friend of mine. So I go to a lot of cons, and it's mostly with a very good friend of mine, one of my best friends. He's a big Star Wars autograph guy, and he had to get Ernie on his Bad Batch. He plays a voice of one of the
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So he was there, and I was just like, oh, and I actually pulled up. I was like, Ernie, is a picture of like me and you and my kid from like 10 years ago. My kid, he's in high school now. He's
Right.
dad, and he was like a baby, and like Ernie's holding him, like, and he's like in his giant hands too. You know what I mean? He's like palming my kid. I'm like,
and Ernie hasn't aged a bit since.
No, right? You see him in the baby. He looks exactly the same. Just like I told him, I was like, this is that kid now. I showed him a picture. He's like, oh my God, good luck with that.
That's great. That's
and
what a special time to be a fan of anything with kind of the accessibility that we now have for these people that were, heroes of ours growing up, and here they are. They're awesome. Real people.
Yeah, but, that's why people should never abuse it. People abuse that power, and you suck. Whoever you are, you suck. Don't do that. Be a nice person. Be a human. They're humans. You're a human. Be a human.
That is the official advice of this week's Why We Bust podcast. So, but so Chris, I'll let everybody know. I reached out to you as I see you every time I'm looking at stuff from official events at the Firehouse. I go, who is this Blues Brothers Buster? It puts a smile on my face every time I see you out there. And then because kind of casually talking to other folks in our group, and they go, no, yeah, that's Chris. He's an awesome guy, and it's and you've created this following, whether you're fully aware of it or not. But you give
I'm just
people
here.
such a
Yeah.
kick.
I'm here to laugh. I'm here to make people laugh.
So
But
I reached out to you because I was like, I gotta talk to him and learn more about, because it's not just throwing on the flight suit like the rest of us. You are going out there to perform and be a character, and I have to figure out,
I'm
you
just
know,
living in the vibe. I
yeah.
just there's a vibe that I may or may not create, but I follow it and I flow with it, and people seem to be cool with that. And as long as people are cool with it, I do it. But yeah, I was out in Chicago over the summer, and I was harassing some of your Windy City people I was in full, not Ghost, but I was just full Jake Blues, and I was like
Yeah.
the ghost of Jake Blues, and I was just like causing some trouble at the booth. I think it was Fan Expo Chicago.
Oh,
I
you
stopped
know,
by.
I think that's how a lot of the guys must have met you, because I missed Fan
Yeah,
Expo last year.
yeah. You know, it was the night before the Blues Brothers concert at Joliet Prison. So
Right.
I was
yes.
in town, and I was with some friends from the Rebel Force Radio podcast.
Okay.
Jimmy Mack.
Yeah.
And yeah. And his son and friends of ours. And we were like, oh, well, let's go hit the con and
Mhm.
go. I had the full Jake costume because I was doing the con in Joliet,
Right.
the concert. So I was like, yeah, let's hit it. So yeah, it was a good time. I got
Awesome.
to mess with some people. It was fun.
Yeah.
People were like, what the hell?
So what came first? The fandom of John Belushi, or the realization that, hey, if I throw on some of these sunglasses and a hat,
Yeah.
it's not a half bad
Thanks.
lookalike.
Yeah. It kind of, the fandom and that kind of always went hand in hand, because as a kid, people would Belushi. Like I was chugging beers at parties, and you know what I mean? People were offering me things, and I always kind of had that rep and that kind of, you know what I mean? Just people, that nickname, people would call me that, and
Yeah.
it kind of always stuck, and it was one of those things. And to be honest, I never really dressed up as Jake before. I was never into cosplay and stuff. And I had met Ryan Espin, who is the president of the New York City Ghostbusters.
Yes, sir.
And at the time, there was no, I don't even know if there was a New York City Ghostbusters. He was part of this thing called the Minions of Gozer, and it was this Ghostbusters shadow cast, like a Rocky Horror Picture Show type of thing. And they would get up on the screen, and I had heard about this, and I was taking my best friend for his birthday to a performance. He's a guy I did a podcast with for 10 years. He's a writer on Impractical Jokers, John Zaluga,
Sure.
my best friend in the world. He's my brother, literally. That's my guy. For 25 years, we've been doing comedy together. So we did this really great podcast called Super Live Adventure Podcast. It's a little crazy. It's crazy comedy. It does dip into some Ghostbustery stuff and stuff like that, but it's mostly just a crazy comedy. It's a bizarre show, Super Live Adventure. So anyway, I take John to go see Minions of Gozer, and I fall in love with it. So I contact them, and I'm like, hey, Ryan Espin, how you doing? I was like, you got somebody doing some art for you? I'd love to do some art for you guys. I was like, how you guys got a Slimer puppet? I was like, if you don't ever want to go with the puppet, you could paint my whole torso green, and I'll run around the joint with black tights on screaming. And he was like, well, you know what? I got a better idea that's kind of in the realm of that. How about we open the show as the Blues Brothers? And I was like, oh
wow.
my God, yeah, dude. So we started doing that at a bunch of the shows. We got up there. And so during the performance, Ryan Espin's playing Venkman.
Right.
But for the Blues Brothers, he's Elwood. And it works. It totally works. And we'd get up there and we'd open the show with Soul Man, and we'd tear it up, and then they'd perform and just blow the roof off. And
what an opener to set the energy.
Yeah, it blew people's minds. They were not expecting that until it started becoming like a thing,
Yeah.
But yeah. So then from there, I kind of got into the New York City Ghostbusters.
Sure.
Yeah, which is, this is like 10. Maybe 11, maybe
because that show with Ryan, that predated, if I recall from interviews with Ryan, that predated their formal New York City Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
start there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so you mentioned, cosplay not part of your original makeup
No,
on that front.
not one of those guys. But then so then like a couple of events. It was actually Chicago oh geez, what year is it? 2019, the Star Wars celebration out there.
Okay.
Yeah, at the McCormick place. And I had gone, and I've been going to Star Wars Celebration since 2012. I'm a big
Mhm.
Star Wars guy, and I told you my friend who's an autograph collector, and I have a few other friends like from around the country, and we all get together at Star Wars Celebration when there's a celebration like US,
Right.
Even though these cats just went to Japan. I missed
I was gonna say that did sound like quite the experience to head out there.
Yeah, it looked like a good time. But so I couldn't make it to that one. But for every continental one, I've been since 2012. So we got Chicago, and I'm like, oh man, this is maybe my second time ever in Chicago. I'd been out there previously with my band, the Wahoo Skiffle Crazies. Like, we're a jug band. We won a battle of the jug bands out in Chicago. Like, I think in like 2015. So this is my first time coming back, and I'm like, man, Star Wars Celebration. I was like, you know what? And it's in Chicago. I was like, I should dress like Jake Blues, but with a Star Wars tie. I had a black Star Wars tie with like TIE fighters and X-Wings zapping around. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then boom, that's how Baby Belushi really started. From that.
It's blown up to every iteration of John Belushi.
Yeah. I'll do Bluto from Animal House. I go to my friends throw a toga party, incidentally, I guess I was right the first time. This year's the 21st. It's the end of the summer. There's a big wild toga party that closes out the summer. So for the 20th last year, I went in the full, John Belushi college.
Right. I think I've seen those pictures.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm the real deal. Like, I get out there, I'll chug a beer, I'll smash the can on my head, boom, smoke a blunt, chug another beer, chug some more whiskey. I'm
whatever is needed for the role.
I'm that guy.
Chris, you have touched on a lot as far as been in a band, done the podcast. You're in your stand-up comedy as well.
Yeah. I'm a sketch comedian. That's how Luger started.
How I guess how do you contain all of that energy or organize it? Do you have
that's people say like, oh man, are you like a big deal? I'm like, no, I'm a lot of small deals. Just pile up a bunch of small deals. That's me. Like,
right.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a weird. I don't function like most people. I don't like go home and relax and watch a ball game, play a video game. I come home, I smoke pot, and I draw. Like,
you get your energy,
family. But
are you the extrovert?
So completely.
You draw that energy from the crowd. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite.
Oh, really?
I can do it. I can put on a performance, but I am so drained at the end of it. I just want to go home, crawl in my hole, and not come out for a little while. And that's
I'm a crowd work guy. Put me out there, I'll talk to the crowd the whole day. I'm wild.
That's awesome.
That's why I have a good time at the Ghostbusters day, because I have just people coming up to me, and I'm on for like hours, just out there, and they're just goofing around, laughing. So cracking jokes on people. It's a good time.
We're going to go back a little bit in a second, but you brought up Ghostbusters Day, and I do want to bring that up as far as I have not been able to make it out to New York for Ghostbusters Day.
Any fans out there, especially you, Pat, but any fans out there, if you have not been, you need to come. It's just such a vibe. It's such a feeling in the air. There's nothing else like it. I swear to God, there's nothing else. And I've done a ton of stuff. I've been to a lot of things.
That's what I want to touch on is this. What is, because it can feel, if for someone who hasn't been there, it's incredible to see the flood of people. And now that there are so many different ectos that are rolling in, but what is it can feel almost overwhelming when there's that a sea of all that. But what is the vibe and the how does a Ghostbusters Day unfold? Between this year when we have had the anniversary last year, and this year somehow it seemed even bigger out there. How does that day unfold for those of us who have not taken part of it?
Well, all right. If you're someone to just touch back on when we were talking about being an extrovert or an introvert, if you're someone that has a rough time with crowds, you got to know up front is gonna be a huge crowd. But the good thing is, it's not like a crowd of strangers. It's a crowd of people dressed with like as Ghostbusters, with proton packs, with slime blowers, with ecto goggles, like everything full on. Stay Puft, Janine, Gozer, Zool dresses, Zool dresses, Zool dresses. You know what I mean? Like I'm it's good stuff. It's hot out, so it's, you know what I mean. You get it's just it's a crowd, but it's not a strange crowd. It's a familiar crowd, and you'll bump into people that you've only talked to online, and you're like, oh my god, like what are you doing? Like it's people from the UK, people from Germany, people from Italy, people from Australia. Like it is wild, and it's gotten to the point where like I have friends that now this is the only time I see them, and we party afterwards. There's always like a patio party somewhere. You hit me up after, I'll let you know. There's a party. I don't know if I could give out all that info because it's it's the top brass. You know what I mean? Having a good time. You know,
no,
we're always
you can say that, but and how the folks at Hook and Ladder 8? I know they embrace it to an extent, but it's got to be. It's not easy for them to accommodate this.
It's not, man. Well, you got a good middle ground guy. You got Nick Vitucci up there. He's like, he's one of us. He's a good fella. You know what I mean? He's like me. He's
a friend of ours.
Yeah, he's a friend of ours. He's an outer. I'm out here on Staten Island in New York City. New York City's 5 boroughs. He's like an outer boroughs guy. You know what I mean? Like he's somebody. I definitely relate to, and he takes it in stride, and he loves it. He honestly loves it, and you could see it on both sides. He loves the Ghostbusters, and he loves the fire department, the New York City's bravest. He's part of a good thing on both sides, and he embraces it, and he melds the two. And some of the other guys, of course, are a little harsher, but you're not really dealing with them. It's Nick's who is going to be the guy, and he's like their point man. So he's always a pleasure. He's a good dude, real good.
It does look like the fandom is as respectful as they can be. I think everyone is aware, and it could be, there was a 30-year drought of being able to celebrate Ghostbusters publicly, and that people are aware that this is not something to be taken for granted, and the fact that we have this physical place in the world that we can actually stand in front of that has been iconic. And everyone had, well, not everyone, but people in my generation, kids in the 80s, we had our replicas of that firehouse, the play set sitting in our toy rooms. And
I still have it in my office. I usually, my office is getting a little redeco. That's why I'm out here in the kitchen. But I have my firehouse, my OG. And then I bought one like years ago at a job. Like I bought like one off a lady. Her son was like, she was like, yeah, like a whole box of Ghostbusters toys for like $50. And I was like, oh, it was like a complete firehouse. I think it was just like missing the sign. I was like, yeah, you kidding me? So I actually have 2 firehouses, which is cool.
Very cool.
But it was cool. Like as somebody, I'm a lifelong New Yorker. So, and a lifelong Ghostbusters fan. I mean, since I was 6, right? I was born in 78. So since I first saw it, boom, it lit that fuse for me. So I had always gone up and seen the firehouse, and they didn't like do anything about it. There was no sign until Buffalo got in there and put it up there. There was no, they had like the Ghostbusters 2 sign inside, and you kind of could sneak a peek at it. If
that's
the door
what I always
open.
heard on message boards in the 90s.
No, it was, but it was inside. You had to go in. I got pictures. I can send you after. I have pictures like before where you had to like get a picture of it from outside the street inside when the door was open. But they always had the Ghostbusters Hook and Ladder 8 logo painted in front
on the sidewalk there.
Yeah, they always had that from my memory. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, that was always their insignia. Yeah.
I'm I've only been to New York City once, and I was I don't have to tell this story, but long story short, I was vetoed on making it out to Hook and Ladder 8, and as far as the itinerary went, so it was.
Oh
I
no,
think
I
it
would
was a
with
you
the
can I could
fam. You dropped the fam. You're like, you
I
know what? Here.
well, it was a college girlfriend, but it
Oh,
was
even
I could
worse.
make it out to Strawberry Fields, or I could go over to the Ghostbusters, and I did Strawberry
Oh, you
Fields, but.
kidding me? Oh, come on.
So, but that's all right. I'm not bitter. It's only been 20 years.
No.
But I'll I'll get over there when the kids are a little bit older. But yeah, no, that's it's just such an incredible change there. And you mentioned, and maybe a good point to segue back. Born in '78,
Yeah.
you come in. I was born in '83, so a few years later.
My wife was 83.
It's a good year.
Yeah,
And
it's a
so
good
I
year.
was actually
Return of the Jedi. How good? It's a great year.
June 8th is my birthday. So
Oh, happy birthday. Happy, yeah, Ghostbusters.
thank you. So it was,
Happy
Ghostbusters
birthday.
Day and my birthday are shared. But
That's rad. Yeah.
what was it to be? Because Ghostbusters wasn't marketed to kids,
No.
and so it really was the kind of the cartoon coming in that brought it in. But did the cartoon put it on the map for you, or was it the release in '84?
Believe it or not, it was the release in '84. So weirdly enough, I remember because it was the year I graduated kindergarten, right?
Okay.
And like my parents were like, hey, like my kindergarten gift was I was being taken to a movie, and I was able to pick between Gremlins and Ghostbusters.
And
So
what a choice to be able
Right?
to pick from.
What a time to be alive. And I picked Gremlins. So which I loved and I still love to this day. But then I remember seeing Gremlins once for my graduation. But I remember seeing Ghostbusters in the theater probably like 10 times that entire summer. I remember like the air conditioner being broken, and we went to the movies to see like 4 times that summer at least, and to see Ghostbusters.
And
That's
a type of, I love that memory, and I love, and because I have similar stuff too, because the movie stayed. I was just telling a story about Jurassic Park. It was in the theaters forever. I remember going to the $2 one. Yeah, it was. I would go into the $2 theater, all summer long with friends to go see that stuff. And it's generations coming up now. Just it's not
3 weeks and then it's streaming like
right.
Fun. That's
not
great.
the same
That's
thing.
fun.
And yeah,
no, it's not going somewhere and getting the popcorn and going. You know what I mean? Like
it's the experience of it. It's a shared experience. And,
it's a whole people don't know anymore.
and so it's incredible that you have those great memories when it came out in '84, and then. I'm guessing there's no way you avoided the cartoon when that
cartoon.
When
yeah,
that
then the
came
cartoon
out.
bashed me right over the head. I was like a latchkey kid, and I couldn't watch it. It was on weekdays first. It wasn't on Saturday mornings first. It was like syndication Monday through Friday. Yeah, it did. I think like the first 2 seasons were weekdays, and then it moved to Saturdays.
Okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't really see it for a bit. And then I finally I remember I saw the toys before I saw the cartoon.
Right. I think I've been a similar spot too.
Yeah.
Which was because I do remember having the whole, well, this doesn't look like the Ghostbusters.
But
impression.
I wanted, so even at that age, I was just drawing all the time. Like I was just always illustrating, and I illustrated a bunch of I guess paper doll. Like I drew little Ghostbusters and I cut them out and I drew a city and I just I made a big stay putt. But it was based off of the toys in the Sears catalog. It was like that picture. It was
right.
Really, yeah.
And you could probably find that exact catalog image.
On
Google if you were looking for it.
Yeah, but Dinosaur Dracula probably just posted it Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah.
And so how does '89 treat you? Because now you're a teenager by the time '89 or close to it, right?
5th grade or 4th grade, one of them there grades. But I remember June 16th, 1989. It was a Friday. I remember coming home from school. I was at a latchkey.
Did you say 78 or 76?
78.
Okay, I'm sorry. My
Yeah,
brain was
yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah,
76, so
yeah,
I made you a little bit older there.
yeah,
But
yeah,
so you
yeah.
because we don't have the internet to let us know movies are coming. I have a very distinct memory of standing in my living room in the evening and being shocked when all of a sudden
The
the
trailer.
teaser trailer comes on the television, and I remember running laps through my living room, through the kitchen
Yep.
and dining room, and back around as I didn't know what to do. I had no idea this was a thing that was was even happening, and it
So,
suddenly appeared.
excuse me. I still remember describing it to my friend, and I was so. Oh, it's weird. I still remember this because I was like, all right, in the trailer, there's like a shot of Nunzio Scolari like going up against like that. And I was like,
Yes.
it's this ghost and it's a spider. It looks like it's an electric spider. And it's like, "Wah!" And then I was like, and then Dana runs into a building and the doors close and it's blood. They kill her. And I didn't know it was slime.
How can you?
I thought
Yeah.
that was blood. When the revolving door closes and you see the slime drop down.
Yes, I know
I
exactly what you're saying.
I thought that was blood. So, like, little kid, fourth, fifth grade me is like,
Right.
oh my God, they killed Dana Barrett. This movie goes for it. It really goes for it.
They are
No,
going hard at Ghostbusters too.
no holds barred
Yeah.
on this one, guys. Full
I would,
scream.
man, they talk about how AI may one day be able to just create entire realistic movies. I would love to see the R-rated version of Ghostbusters 2.
Oh my
you know,
God,
in
dude!
there, but,
I'm in. I'm all in.
yeah, I remember having to explain to friends because at the end it shows the the no ghost circle and with the line, but the ghost like swoops in and like sticks his fingers
Yeah, yeah,
through.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
remember trying to recreate that for my friends, doing the similar thing of like going to school and explaining it. It's no, but then the ghost he runs through and he sticks his finger out and he's holding up too. And so those things stick in my brain.
That's great though. Like
For
you,
that,
you
but
didn't, you couldn't just pull up the video. You had to, act
yes.
it out to your friend. You had to,
And then you had to stay glued to a television, hoping you're going to see
yeah,
that trailer again. But
yeah.
it was, that was my
I
birthday present in '89. My
Oh, that's perfect.
sixth
Yeah, it was
birthday
like
was
a week later. Yeah.
was taking folks to go see that movie there. So and then we go quiet for quite a while.
Yeah.
Did Ghostbusters fade kind of from your
No,
consciousness? Did it linger there,
never.
and you were the lone person holding the torch?
I was the lone person holding the torch. Like I said, it was one of the things I used to like to draw. That's kind of how I wound up drawing Ghostbusters to this day. I would do it in between getting gigs, art gigs and stuff. That's how I do it now. Like, just as a palate cleanser, something for you, something for me, something for you, something for me. That's how it started.
Mhm.
But that's, we're getting ahead of ourselves, burying the lead. I in the 90s, I was heavily into the Ghostbusters role-playing game from West End Games, except I had nobody to play it with. So I would pore over these books and I would just read them over and over again. I would obsess over them. They were
Have you watched any of Bob's role play games that he's been doing with the crew?
Yeah.
We'll have to get you in on one of those at some point.
I'm dying to get in because I honestly I've been in a 10-year D&D campaign. Like every Tuesday night
Oh,
that we
wow.
get together, we still get together and play. Yeah, it's
That's
in
awesome.
person. Yeah, it's been going on for a decade.
It's incredible that stuff has been able to come back around because it did, I think in the 90s it was the cliche was to mock it all and everything. But and you mentioning you're a big Star Wars fan, you know exactly what the 90s sort of felt like to be a fan of things like Star Wars and
Same
Ghostbusters.
thing, yeah,
And it was like nobody at school wanted to talk about the things that I was into.
No,
But,
nobody was into that. But even with Star Wars, we got those Timothy Zahn books, and it was like, whoa! It was like a bucket of water in the desert. It was like, yes.
I mean, I think I was an English major probably because of those Star Wars books, because it taught me to be a better reader, and I would just sit and I had the soundtrack CDs, and I would sit in my room and just consume them in over the course of a weekend. But
Remember they sometimes do a soundtrack CD to a book. Remember they did like the Shadows of the Empire
yes.
soundtrack, and it was like, what? This is so cool.
Oh yeah, and I've got my
Like,
CD player, and I'm hitting repeat while I'm on the chapter that the song is on, just so I
yeah,
can keep
yeah,
the mood in my head while I'm
yeah.
reading. And
Yeah, that was cool.
that's I miss having just the time and
Yeah.
headspace where I could just say this weekend I'm going to devote to just this book.
Yeah,
And
this is what I'm gonna do.
right.
Like, yeah, you can't.
I will one day I'll retire and get back to that. But
I hope so.
yeah, well, that's fantastic. And let's talk a little bit about your art, because we've dabbled on it, but how can folks see more of the work that you've worked on?
I'm all over the place on social media. It's REEL Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters, but REEL like a film reel.
Like in anyone who's watching the stream, you can see that under Chris's name there as well. And Chris, if I will make an effort to remember to put in the description of our episode when we put it up as a podcast any links that you would like to make sure we include for you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, so it's real Ghostbusters, like the film reel, because it started, like I was saying, so in between like working gigs, I do artwork out here for the Staten Island Shakespearean Theater. I also do artwork for the television show Impractical Jokers. I just do stuff for all over the place. So in between that, I would illustrate a scene from the first Ghostbusters movie in the style of a cartoon, kind of like Now Comics. They did like the Ghostbusters 2 adaptation in the style of the Now Comics, but I always liked that, but I wanted something. Now, some people argue this because they don't have the nuanced eye, I guess, but there's a very distinct difference between the real Ghostbusters cartoon aesthetic and the Now Ghostbusters, Now Comics, real Ghostbusters aesthetic. I know it's based off of it, but it doesn't look like it's a screen grab from the cartoon.
Sure.
And I do love the Now real Ghostbusters comics. I'm not crapping on them, but the Now version didn't look like the screen models.
Sure.
So I took it upon myself to start doing that as if it was like the screen models, and like make it like a lost episode. Like somebody had discovered this studio was making the film in the style of the cartoon, but like, they went bankrupt, and then 40 years later somebody uncovered this. Oh my God, like here's it's just this is the stuff that survived. Like that was kind of like, that was kind of the genesis from it. I was never going to put my name to it. It was just going to be like, oh, they found this in like a studio in Italy that went out of business. I was going to perpetuate this story.
Well, I'll tell you, Chris, I have seen your artwork and not attribute it to you. I'm thinking that it is something that was, produced by the studios out there. And
dude,
and
I got the official Ghostbusters, like I think their YouTube or their Instagram or both of them. I don't know. They put like, they used my artwork thinking it was like a still from the cartoon. I'm not kidding. It's happening.
Frustrating, but such a compliment at the same time to just assume we must own this.
Yeah.
It looks just like what we. Yeah. In a way, and you mentioned it, it's like it. Because I've looked as an adult to think because you'll find like the real Ghostbusters cells, animation cells, and things like that, and watching the show from time to time as an adult, and the way you draw it is the way that my brain wants to remember that everything was on the cartoon. When you watch it, you realize it was being churned out as quickly as they could oftentimes. And so
glad you say that, because it's my artwork is kind of an amalgamation of like like you said, like everything you want to remember, like all these different styles. So like I comb through episodes to try to like stills to try to really like Like I use as much reference from the
Mhm.
show as possible.
Yeah, because you do get those moments. It's if there's a certain angle of Peter Venkman
Mhm.
that really works, and there's a certain angle that's a little scary
Does
when they try
not.
and
Yeah!
animate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you say this. People don't realize that. Like, yeah, when you break it down, it's like, yeah, it's like 1 frame out of 5. It
That
looks
works, but
normal. Yeah.
right, and that's probably why yeah, you've been taken without permission at times there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love the work that you've been doing there, and
Thanks.
very jealous of your ability
Oh, it's
to manifest. Uh, Not only, yeah, I think
thanks.
that's an interesting characteristic for just kind of observing you from afar for a little bit is you're able to manifest your passions in a really interesting way that
I
I don't.
know no other way. I can't live any other way.
It's
You know what I
fantastic.
mean? Like,
It's
I
fantastic.
refuse to accept a life where I'm not. I just
Right.
can't. I have to bully my own way into existence. It's
You got to make
scary.
your own create your own opportunities, kick in your own doors. But I think
Yeah, it's
there's a
trifling.
there's a trend I've seen of a lot of the folks within the Ghostbusters community, because I'm not a cosplay person. First time I ever dressed up as a Ghostbuster was my first day with Windy City Ghostbusters,
Okay, cool.
um, and that was
Yeah.
a couple years back. But what I've noticed from a lot of the folks that have been carving their spot in the fandom is they are doers. They are proactive at getting out there, and if there isn't something that is filling the hole that they have, they just have to they
Yeah.
have to do it themselves.
Yeah. I
And
get
I
it.
admire that, as I try to be better at that. And so I admire folks like you that are able to do that. And if you have not, again, we will post um, links to Chris's artwork in the show notes when you check out the podcast version. But please
Thanks.
do check it out. And do you sell
Mhm.
prints and things
Oh,
like
they
that?
meant weed. I'm like, "Hey, man,
Uh, that's
I got a brick of this sour
that's
diesel."
that's in the
You know?
Why We Bust After Dark post
I'm
show.
sorry. No, I sell art prints. You can find it on my site. You go to pizzaplasm.com. Um, and I do commission work. You know what I mean? You could always commission me to do some artwork. So recently I've done some artwork for different franchises where
Mhm.
I do like I just did one for the Yellow Rose Ghostbusters out in
Oh,
Texas. And it
great! Yeah,
was
I know those
like,
guys. Yeah,
yeah, cool
friends of
guys,
the show. They've been on the show.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. But it's like they want something with the Alamo. So I did like this, like it's this ghost stitched up of all these different like Alamo soldiers, like all like it's really wild. And in front of the Alamo and everything, you know,
Mhm.
with the Ghostbusters like kind of in front from behind, like, you know, about to blast them. So so from that I got a bunch of other gigs from other franchises doing something similar. So I kind of want to start doing those. So if anybody wants anything, if you're part of a crew and like you want, I don't know, you're in I don't know, Louisiana, you want
Mhm.
them busting the voodoo, you want something like something that you could sell at a con at your booth, but you want it to represent your group. But it's
Mhm.
not like just a picture of your group, because
Yeah.
you know we all love our groups, but who
We'll
wants to
have to
buy a
talk
picture?
to the Windy City folks, because Slimer eating a slice of Chicago
Oh,
style
big old
pizza
deep
would.
dish.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I dig like or a big like Italian beef or something.
Oh yeah.
But I kind of I would love to. I mean, not only do I love to do the work, I would love to put out a book of just that. It's just like all different Ghostbuster groups and the
Mhm.
artwork I did for them, and like I think that would just be rad. Like that would
Yeah,
be
that would be
cool. And
fantastic.
yeah, it's split up whatever the proceeds are to everybody, and everybody throws whatever it is into their
Mhm.
charities, and we just roll with it. And you know what I mean? Have it for sale at people's tables at every
Yeah.
con. I think it would be cool. It's another cool way to connect everybody too, you know?
Absolutely. Hey,
Yeah.
I love that idea, and if we can ever help you along the way facilitating it,
Yeah.
let us know.
Agreed.
But
Yeah.
it's I think it's the it gets back to, and the point of the show, the why we bust. There's always this idea of community, and if we're doing something, we're not doing it only for ourselves, we're doing it for
No,
something else. And your idea of putting out that book, the first thing you say is so we can raise some money, so we
that's
can
it.
draw more
Yeah,
attention to it.
yeah.
And where is you know w- where did that come into focus for you, along the way, with your fandom for
It,
Ghostbusters? I know with
before
Ryan
that,
and starting with NYC, but yeah, talk to me
yeah.
a little bit about
It's
your
before
experience
that.
there.
I was just raised right. I help out whoever I can. And I'm not just people, animals. I cook meals for raccoons every night. It's starting to get
Do you
dark
really?
behind
Wait,
me.
I think I've seen
Yeah,
pictures of
you've seen the
raccoons
raccoon.
on your.
Yeah, I take in a lot of like cats and raccoons and stuff. I
Yeah.
hang out in the backyard, possum. I'm a loving dude. That's how I got involved in Ghostbusters Day. I contacted Dan from Buffalo, and I was like, and we didn't really know each other, and I was like, listen, I'd love to give back to the community. I love Ghostbusters, and I love to draw, and I want to give out prints. And that's how that started. And to this day, that's out of pocket.
Oh wow.
I print out 250 prints to give out. And I give out, and I buy the envelopes too. That's money I set aside because I love the community, and that's
Hmm.
me giving back. So
Yeah.
it goes beyond charity. It's just like I love fellow Ghostbusters fans, and I love Ghostbusters, and I just want to keep the positivity. Man, I saw like a dip
Hmm.
at a point where people were just like ragging on dumb stuff, where it's just like there's no need to rag on people's tastes. So
Sure.
like I've been through the highs, the lows. You said the droughts, and then the famines and the feasts. You know what I
Right.
mean? And and I want this community to hold together, and I desperately love Ghostbusters, and I love the love for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know, just it's weird, like like people see their soulmate, and you know what I mean? Like when I first saw Ghostbusters, that was my soulmate. I was like, I know I love this. This is me
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. Like
Yeah.
I'll draw Ghostbusters till my hand falls off. I
Right.
don't care if I make money off it. I don't care if Sony pays me. I don't care if Jim's Ghostbusters group from
Right.
where Walla Walla pays me. I don't care. Like I'm just
Right.
gonna
That's
draw
never
it
what
anyway.
it. Yeah, and that's never what it's
Yeah,
been about for you. And
yeah,
and
yeah. I just love it.
it's incredible. And how I'm sorry, I think I'm derailing us here, but I have to ask a question just because
It's
the picture popped up in
Absolutely.
front of me here. But when you saw the black flight suits for the engineering corps,
Yeah, yeah.
were you one of the most excited people out there, as you already
Oh yeah,
given your
yeah.
all your I don't want to use the word shtick, that makes it
Oh,
seem too small, but it's already
handed
built in. You
Yeah,
got the black suit, but now you
yeah,
got the excuse with the Ghostbusters.
yeah. It's canon now. Like my suit's canon.
Absolutely. So let's talk about, you've been there since the early days of the New York City Ghostbusters. How has that evolved? It's a major city. You can't think of Ghostbusters without thinking of New York City.
Mhm.
And how have you seen that group evolve?
Oh
How
man,
has your role within it changed? Because I obviously over such a long period of time, I'm sure there's plenty of times you're more active and less active to, with the way
yeah.
life can roll. But
I'm not that active. To be honest, these days, other than I do a lot of behind the scenes. I do the artwork. So like when you
Mhm.
get like the pins, like the Ecto one with the Christmas tree,
Yeah.
or the Garaka,
Oh, was that?
eggnog. I did the Slimer Christmas, like the Bing Crosby, all that type of stuff. The prints. When you see New York City Ghostbusters, they have a big, huge banner. It's it's Times Square. The
Mhm.
Ghostbusters kind of doing the dance with the real Ghostbusters version. That's me. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
I
that's
took
awesome.
more of a creative role than a
You're
hands-on
ever
role.
present, even if you're not throwing on a
Yeah.
proton pack every week
Yeah, but
at an
I
event.
still, at least like Comic-Con, I get out there and help at the
Mhm.
slime lab, and sign some of the prints and stuff like that at New York Comic Con. You know, here
Perfect.
and there, you know, I'll pop up and stuff. But yeah, I'm not on his. You know, I leave that to the kids. You know, they love that stuff. They're
Yeah.
doing the getting out and doing all the parades and doing all the
Right.
functions. And
Yeah.
yeah, you guys have a ball.
I'll let your feet handle that parade.
Yeah, for sure, exactly. Yeah.
And you mentioned your son is now, you know, old enough to know what you're doing. What's his take
15
on
and
this?
14.
15 and 14.
Oh yeah,
wow.
they love it. So my 15-year-old, I actually took him with me to the premiere of Frozen Empire. It was a really cool full circle moment because I think the Father's Day before, maybe it was like the day before Father's Day, we had gotten wind that they were shooting Ecto-1 street scenes for Frozen Empire, like exterior shots up in like Midtown. And I was like, no way. So no, like the Flatiron District. So it's like the 20s.
Okay.
So we're there. We hear about it. We see signs up the streets are being shut down here, and we're like, man, I'd love to see Ecto. And we're walking around. We turn a corner. There she is, screen used Ecto from Frozen Empire. So it has those red pinstripes
all the way down the hood.
Yeah. And we were like, whoa, what? And there's this one guard, and he was just like, yeah, take whatever pictures you want. Like, oh, and then a guy from Sony came over and he was like, oh, you want to see the back? And he opened it up and we saw
that's incredible.
Yeah, we saw the Spengler pack. So we knew like it was like a Phoebe scene, and we were like, oh God. So we were like, it was so cool.
Were you trying to connect with your own, you know, 6-year-old self to be able to turn a corner in New York City and there's just Ecto hanging out?
It all hit me, past, present, future me, all just at once. It's like, what? It was like literally, I don't know, like the closest I think I've felt connected to Ghostbusters in a long time. You know what I mean? I'm used to seeing the Firehouse. I'm used to seeing Ernie Hudson. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. But like when it's like, and that's the Ecto-1, like a real deal. Like I see other Ecto-1s, you know what I mean? But like this is a screen used Ecto-1, and it was the first time I'd seen it. Like I said, with the red bit, I was just like, whoa. And yeah, it was really a moment. So then, when I had gotten 2 tickets to the premiere of Frozen Empire, which I don't even know how, just Sony sent me 2. I was like, what? I don't know if it was because of the Real Ghostbusters thing or because that previous May I had actually auditioned for the Belushi role in the Saturday Night Live movie.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Jason Reitman's people got in contact with me to audition.
Incredible.
Yeah, it was back. The movie was called The Wolverines, and this was like May of 2023. And I had to read the cold open from like season 2 of Belushi, like demanding to not say live from New York. And he's just like, yeah, beer for the crew and this and that. Like he's doing all that. So like I had to read that, send in the tape, and then the writer's strike and actor strike just happened, and it was like boom. And I actually bumped into Jason Reitman at a thing, and I couldn't ask him about it, but we just like looked at each other like, hey, yeah. But I didn't want to be a jerk off, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to bring it up. You're not supposed to, you know? But so I don't know. Obviously, I didn't get the role, but I don't know if I was just on a list because of that or because of the Real Ghostbusters thing. I don't know, but they sent me 2 tickets, and I have 2 sons, and Wesley and Wyatt.
So you cut them in half.
I cut them in half. Exactly. Don't worry. Their bottoms grew back. They're like earthworms. Everyone knows that. Kids are like worms. So no, it was only fitting. And my younger son Wyatt agreed that my son Wesley go because he had seen them shooting those Ecto scenes with me. And then we're going full circle. Now we're going to see the movie. What a generous way
of thinking about that for your brother.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. I got good kids, good eggs, real good. But so it was like a weird moment of it all coming around, and it's like, wow,
that's cool. That makes all the waiting worthwhile. That's I mean, because it was you went through the 90s where you're listening to Dan Aykroyd on Howard Stern teasing that there's going to be a third, and it's
Chris Farley's going to be in it. Yeah, I know. I know.
Farley
I
and
was
Will
there
Smith.
too. Oh, Will
and-
Smith. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, shooting for the moon. But
Mhm.
real quick, I know we are approaching the 8 o'clock our 8 o'clock cutoff here, but there have been folks report all ghosts in our chat. Big
Oh,
fan of
hey.
your Lady Liberty's
What's up,
crown
brother?
artwork, and they also want to know if there's going to be any exclusives at the New York City Comic Con this year from you.
Of course, definitely, 100%. Me and Ryan and Dana, we've already been, you know, commiserating and
Gotcha.
contemplating, and we have something cooked up together. So we have something wild. Yes,
Perfect.
100%. There's going to be a brand new print at New York
Very
City Comic
exciting,
Con.
and everybody that is now a new fan of yours from hearing you on
Thank you.
on the show will be. I'm anxiously awaiting to see that. And
I'll send you
and
one. I'll
dive
send
in.
you one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be
hit me up.
incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. No worries.
And that's why I had you on the show. Just
That's
to get
it.
straight
It was all
stuff
worth it. The swag.
But
Swaggy Sorrentino over here.
so, what does the future hold for you, Chris? What I think it's been clear in our conversation that you are not in this for yourself. You are in the sense that it fills you when you're able to contribute to the fandom. But what does the future hold for you? What are you looking to still be able to do? Are there any bucket list items, for you, or is everything just gravy at this point?
Everything's gravy. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to get my meat hooks into something in an official capacity, like do a comic book cover or something for a book or something, just so I could say I did. You know what I mean? I'm not even saying for the money. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't want to,
But
pay me peanuts.
You're part of the canon somewhere.
Yeah, like that would really make me happy. At least with that, like I don't even want to try to touch Star Wars. That's to me, that's like, that's never gonna happen. Just I don't want to deal with that. But it's the Ghostbusters or Turtles. I want to please put something official, do a cover for one of them their books or something, or packaging for a toy or something. I don't care. I'll do it. I'll do it for peanuts. I'll do it for the friggin' toy. I'll do the artwork for one toy. Mondo. I would do it for like a Peter Venkman, not even the Sam Hain. Just give me
half of the package. Yeah. Don't even need the replaceable head. Just give one of the head.
I got one head, one set of hands. I don't even want Slimer. Peter with a pack and a wand. Boom. I'm out the door.
Perfect. Well,
I'll draw whatever you want.
If anybody at Sony is watching, we've got some ideas for you here. And with this new Ghostbusters give back, Chris, there could be room. They might need some things to kind of help spawn some marketing.
I'm into giving. I'm into giving back. Hey, guess what? For you guys, I'm also into giving front. Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
He's not picky, folks. He's not picky. Well, Chris, I can't thank you enough for coming on. It's been a pleasure. As you, again, like I mentioned, it does not feel like Ghostbusters Day if we're not seeing you out there with the shades and the fedora. And I saw you dancing in the rain this year. Hope you didn't get too many blisters from the wet socks. But
no, it wasn't too bad. I definitely I went home, took a shower, I zipped back out. I met up with the Buffalo crew
at the private patio party, and
we smashed some beers.
Perfect. Well, just fantastic meeting you, Chris. And I am going to make it out to New York, and I'll make sure that I let you know when I'm there. And if you're in Chicago, I'll try and make sure that I catch you next time you're around. So thank you so much for joining. I'll hold you to it. Thank you so much for joining the show today. I appreciate it, and I think, over the course of our conversation, you really did hit kind of all the hallmarks of what I love about this Ghostbuster fandom, and that we're here to make sure that we are, we're spreading the love. We're not all in it for ourselves. The love. How do the Beatles say? The
love you make is equal to the love you take.
Perfect.
That's
absolutely.
We just have each other.
Yeah.
We just have each other. Hang on to each other. Love each other. Treat each other right.
Perfect. Well, Chris, I'll end on that. I think that's a great way to end the show, and just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And if you have time to stick around, and I've told Chris this is my first time flying solo on the show, so I don't know how to dump all of our viewers over to Bob's After Dark's stream here, but please do search for Bob After Dark. He has a weekly live stream that takes place at 8:00 here, so please search out for Bob. I will ask how to send everybody over your way for the next time I'm doing this. But Chris Sorrentino, thank you so much for your time, and thank you to everybody for tuning in, and we will see you all in a couple weeks for Why We Bust. Take care, everybody.